All right, so this is the style of dashboard again that we're going to build. And again, I've not given you overview of the product yet, but I will give you at the end. Okay. In this project, we're going to do something simpler process. We're going to look at a housing data that has two types of data sets. One is features of houses and prices. So let's see how it looks like. So these are different features of the houses. There's a different row of the data set. There's something called CRIM, different zoning, industry, chaos, all of that. The key one that we are going to focus on is three features: LSTAT, that is percentage of lower status population in that region, number of rooms. All right, so number of rooms and the age. And what age says is that proportion of unit that have been built before 1940. So age is a number which is between 0 and 100. Higher the number it is, older houses that place has. And room, of course, number of rooms, more rooms it is, more rooms you have in the house. And LSTAT is a percentage of population, again, it is between 0 to 100. If the percentage is large, which means that it's primarily occupied by folks with lower income. If its percentage is smaller, it's primarily occupied by higher income. Okay. And at this stage, what we're trying to do is trying to predict for that region the median house price. Okay. And again, these are normalized price, so there'll be a bunch of zeros that will be missing. We're trying to sort of predict the median house price. And at this stage, you might say, well, you know what? It should be that lower stat should be predictive completely, or room should be predictive completely, or age should be predictive completely, right? So to understand that, let's do the following. First, we'll stitch the data because the prices and features are separate. So first, let's bring them together. It's a very simple stitching problem, but I think it just gives you a flavor of how does one go about stitching and doing basic data prep. After that, we'll analyze it and see sort of how price versus these features behave. And let's see how easy or how difficult the prediction problem is. After that, we will build some prediction problem. We'll build a sort of a real recommender, and then we will do the MLOps, again, what we call MLOps in popular jargon, but it will happen behind the scene, and build the end-to-end data app. And I'll show you the app you're going to build. Okay, so let's just sort of look at what the stitch data looks like. So all that has happened is that I've put those two data sources together. So now features of that region along with the median price value is also on one place. Now, there is some description that we have, and this is just a basic summary of statistics of data. But here is the most interesting chart. Okay, what I have here on y-axis is the median price of house, and on x-axis is the percentage age. So remember, higher the number, many older houses you have. And you might have expected that maybe older houses price should go down, which means that it should decay. But this is just a nice skyline. It just keeps going up and down. There's no information as such alone in age. Okay, so it's not a straightforward thing. If you try to plot something, the same thing, maybe there's a nice exercise for you to extend on this dashboard is to the median average age median price versus number of rooms, or median price versus the LSTAT, and you will find a similar skyline. No information, individual. Okay, this is really sort of a not so straightforward problem. It's a deceptively simple but really hard problem. What we will do is we will build a predictive model within clicks, so that despite the fact that price or median prices with, for example, LSTAT or with room not having any information because it changes in no specific visual trend, for each of them, this is the real values and these are our predicted values. And as you can see, those are two very close, which means that we are doing really, really well in terms of our prediction. So now that whatever we've built, you will have some confidence, both visually and in numbers, that our predictions are good. Let's go ahead and build a predictor recommender. So here is an simple, not pretty, but functional, amazing app. So what does this app do? All right, so let's see. Suppose I'm going to sort of add one more thing to this. Okay, so 30, 10, and 4. So what I want to do is there is this 3 different queries, okay? 3 different houses or 3 different regions. One region, average 20% of the population is 1940 or before. Lower income status is 20%, and number of rooms on average is 10, and so on. So these are 3 different queries. For these queries, what I want to do is I want to run recommendation. In particular, the prediction model that you saw behind the scene that I built. What that prediction model effectively does is it takes any such input and it can produce a prediction of housing price, a housing price which would be the median price that we're trying to predict. And what we want to understand is what are the sort of the predictions that will be made by our model. And here are those predictions that are made. So for example, remember this is the new entry we had added, which is here. It says that sort of the price would be this. Okay. And this is a real interactive data app now. There is ML ops model that the model you built, now you can query it in real time for all sorts of purposes. And again, here we're just showing something simple, but you can sort of build something like more complicated stuff like this. More complicated stuff like that inventory app that I was showing.